Hi everyone, it's Mariah Rossel with A Journey of Beauty. I wanted to talk to you today about what is online counseling and why it might be perfect for you. As you may have noticed during some of my videos, I use both the terms counseling, therapy, and coaching kind of interchangeably. So I am a registered psychotherapist, so I can use the words counseling and therapy. However, where I live in Colorado, I can only use that term and see people as a therapist in the state of Colorado. There's a number of differences between counseling and coaching, or therapy and coaching, whereas with the term coach, there are different regulations, and so I can see clients who live in other states. I also can see clients when I happen to be traveling and out of the country as a coach. So I just wanted to give you that little bit of disclaimer on why I use both terms. So online therapy can be either done on the phone or via video messaging. I personally prefer video because I think that there's a lot that we can get out of seeing the faces of our clients and the clients to see our faces as well. While that doesn't mean that if there's a certain day or time where you can get phone but not internet, that we can't do it over the phone. That's just a preference. For me, both when I see people as a therapist or as a coach, I do use HIPAA compliant video software. So you want to make sure that's going to be true, and any therapist should be doing that. So why might you want to do this? Well, it's convenient for you. So it takes time to get from your house or your work to their office and then back. And so your hour-long session now takes an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of your time once you have to include travel time. And so if you look at your time as money, it's actually cheaper to do virtual or online counseling than it is to come in person. My dad always gave me a rule growing up that his free time was worth twice what he got paid per hour. Whether or not you like to follow that rule or not, I like that rule. And so if you're not getting paid, you have free time to go to the counselor or therapist, then if you're spending 2 hours there to get that, it's just going to be more expensive for you time-wise. For people that travel a lot, you're going to have a hard time seeing a counselor or coach regularly. And one of the things that we've seen is that the regularity of which you get the therapy is going to be a drastic impact on how great the change is that you're experiencing. And so if you travel a lot and you can't actually see a therapist because you're not physically at your home very often, then you can see them virtually. Because of laws, you probably can't see a therapist as much as you can see a coach. And it really depends on what issues you're dealing with, if that's appropriate. For most of the clients that I see, it is appropriate to see them as a coach. And there are certain people that have legal reasons why seeing me as a therapist is more appropriate. And so that's a conversation obviously to have as you travel around. It's also nice if you want to catch therapy in the middle of your workday and you want to see your therapist for your lunch hour. Again, that time. If you can pick up your phone or go on your computer and have your session for an hour, again, it's important to create a safe, confidential space where you physically are, but you can take your lunch and go into your car, or maybe there's a personal break room, or maybe you do have an office where you can shut a door or something like that. Find that space, and then literally you can have your lunch. You can eat your lunch during your session if you need to, and then you can have that during that hour, and you can get the work done that you need to get done without being disruptive during the workday, because a lot of therapists, a lot of coaches work office hours just like you do. And so this way you're not taking 2 hours out of your day to leave and then go get the session and then come back. Parking is definitely another one. Tolls, gas costs, environmental costs of driving. These are all the things that people consider when they say, I want to work from home. Well, if you want to work from home for all of those reasons, this would be the same reason that you would want to see your professional therapist or coach from home or from work or from wherever you are. Some people, it's just more comfortable. While therapy and coaching is not meant to be comfortable, it's meant to help you have breakthroughs. And a lot of those breakthroughs involve looking at parts of ourselves that we don't like to see. It's, there's a lot that is just not comfortable. But sometimes for people, depending on what you're going through, it's more comfortable for you to be at home or be wherever you're most comfortable and then have, the session over the computer. If you have children as well, most therapists, most coaches do not have a waiting room for children. It's still inappropriate to have the child in the session, whether it is at the office or virtually. However, if you do have a home office or you have a quiet room in your home that you can go in and you can just kind of, have the kids in the house, this would be older children that don't need constantly monitored. You could certainly be at home and not have to have that concern over childcare. Obviously, the goal of therapy is for you to focus inward and on yourself, and so if you are continually minding children that are in another room, that may not be conducive for you. And if you are used to having a situation where you work from home and have children around and you can have that quiet time, maybe your children are older and they can be self-reliant, watching a movie, doing homework on their own while you're in the session, but you don't quite want to leave the house and leave them in the house by themselves. This could be an option. So there's lots of different reasons why online therapy is really great for you as a client. And so, and the other thing I forgot to mention is for me, my personal coach, the one that I've been working with for the past 4 years, does shadow work. He has a very specific skill. He's a very unique person, and I have not found anyone who works exactly like him. However, he lives in Santa Barbara, and I live in Boulder, Colorado. And I do fly out there to see him maybe 4 times a year, and he flies out to the Boulder area 3 or 4 times a year as well. So we see each other in person a lot. However, I like to check base with him on a weekly basis still. We still have our weekly sessions, sometimes more than weekly sessions if lots of things are going on in my life, right? And so I can see him despite the distance. And so that's one of the biggest reasons that I would say that virtual counseling, in this case it would probably have to be virtual coaching because of laws. There's some shift to potentially get nationwide certification for counselors and therapists. Right now it is state by state. But even if I still live in Boulder and you live maybe on the western slope of Colorado, you're not going to drive 3 or 4 hours to come see me in person. Maybe for a couple sessions, maybe ever here and there. But it's not going to make financial sense, time sense, logistical sense to come see me from that far away in person. And so if you can do it virtually, then you can see the perfect counselor for you, perfect coach for you that has the skill set that you need, that you want, that you relate with, no matter where they're physically located. And one of the things that the research does show is that the number one impact in counseling and coaching is the relationship between the professional and the client. And so if you find someone you have great rapport with and they happen to live 3 states away, you can still do the work, you can still get the breakthroughs. This can all still happen without either one of you having to fly and travel to go see the other person. And so that's huge. If you find the perfect person for you and they live far away, don't let distance stop. Do it virtually, and then it is best if you can see them a couple times a year in person. Meet them, know them as a human, not just the person on the other side of the screen. But it really cuts down the distance and it allows you to meet the exact professional that meets your needs. So, thanks so much for tuning in today. Subscribe to my channel, and I have a blog below, journeyofbeauty.com. Please check it out. And if you would love for me to be your virtual coach or counselor, depending on where you're living and your needs, contact me today, and I would love to talk to you about working together. Have a great day. Bye-bye.